Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Life, L.Y.F, love yourself first. And my guest here today is Mr. Jay Reid, comedian extraordinaire. How are you,
Hey,
Mr. Jay Reid?
I'm doing amazing. Just living, just living, trying to stay COVID free in this pandemic world we're
Tell me about it. These COVID
in.
times are ridiculous. Well, those who don't know Jay Reid, he is known for, well, he's an actor, comedian, and writer, right? And
I do
he's
all
known for,
that.
he does everything from YouTube, that don't go together,
Hmm.
host comedy and cocktails in Vegas, co-host Senseless Behavior podcast. That's new, right?
Yes,
Okay. And he's also been seen on Bill Bellamy's Ladies Night Out tour.
yes.
And that's especially how I know you. So, so let's talk about young Jay Reid, like how it all started. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, when did you know that you were funny? Were you the class
Um,
clown?
I always knew that I was funny. I always knew I had a gift to make people laugh. I just didn't know that I wanted to hone my craft and be a stand-up comedian and do it for a living. I just didn't know that existed. Um, I me just making people laugh and imitating family members. It's like I was doing that one day, and I had a girlfriend at the time when I just got back from the military because I went reserves, not knowing what I want to do. So this girlfriend that I had at the time was just making her laugh, and she was like, "Have you ever thought about doing stand up comedy?" I was like, "I don't know if you can make money doing that."
Mhm.
She was like, "Yeah, you can. You should try. I think you would be really good at it." So I tried it one day and I failed miserably, but it was something inside of me that said that I could really do this. So I tried it again like a week later, and I felt what it felt like to make someone laugh, and that that had that crowd of laughter coming back at me, and I fell in love that day. I've been doing it every day ever since that day.
So, was that first gig, was it a improv gig or uh,
No, it wasn't an improv gig. It was just they was doing a show called Tickle Me Tuesdays, and I just went
mhm.
there trying to get on. And guy was like, I don't know if you funny or not. So he was like, well, let's do this little. Well, I'll put you on this like little showcase. So I just did a little showcase, and I bombed terribly.
Did you get paid for it?
No, I did not.
Wow.
I didn't get my first paycheck from doing stand up till about like 7 years into doing comedy.
Really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah. So
Wow. Okay. Well, so being that as it may, I mean, you just said that you were in the military. Thank you for your service. What service were you in?
I was in Army. I
It
did
was in
Army
Army.
Reserves.
Oh, hoorah and
Yeah.
all that, right?
It's hood with the Army.
Oh,
Hood.
excuse me.
That's
I'm a Marine
Marine.
Corps
Hoorah.
brat, so we're all into
That's
the
Marine.
hoorah.
Yeah.
I got you. So, who are your comedic influences?
Wow, man, I have a bunch, man. Richard Pryor was my number one influencer. Then Eddie Murphy, um, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle has been an influence. Of course, Bill Bellamy is just like a personal influence on my career. Um, Believe it or not, he's not even a comedian, but he's an active comedian. Will Smith, like he was a really big influence on my career. It's like I wanted to be just like Will growing up. So,
Mm.
so definitely Will Smith.
Okay. So, what at what point did you take that leap? Did you say, okay, I could definitely do this full time?
Yeah, I was working a job at the in Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. I was a bellman, and I used to make really, really good money. Like $100,000 a year job. And I used to always have these. I don't know if you know anything about like bellmen at hotels in Vegas, but like those are hard jobs to get, and it's always like old men doing those jobs because once you get a job like that, it's like you don't leave those jobs. So
Yeah.
I used to have all these old heads talking to me all the time. It's like, Jay, I've seen your talent, and don't waste it here because you can easily get trapped doing this for the rest of your life because we
Mhm.
got great insurance, we making tips every single day. We got free food for lunch. So they taking good care of us. So
Mhm.
um, I was like, I'm not gonna get caught up in that trap. And it's like I could have saw my I saw myself getting to that point where I was getting really too comfortable with doing the whole bellman job. So one day I just, it just came to me like an epiphany one day. It's like I can't do this no more. This is it for me. And I quit that. I quit. I just had a brand new daughter, and I quit my job just on faith, and it worked out for me. So
Oh, well, that's a blessing.
that's how it happened.
Okay. So your first professional gig, what was that?
My first professional gig.
Yeah.
I did a TV show called Coming to the Stage. It was a comedy competition on BET. I don't know if you remember a comedian named Little JJ. He was on
Yeah.
Nickelodeon back in the day. So
Yeah.
that's where he got his start. He did that
Mhm.
show, and I was on that show with him. And he ended up winning the comedy competition, and got Nickelodeon and all of those things. But he was like 14 at the time doing comedy, so
Right.
America just soaked that all up.
But what happened to him? I haven't seen him in a minute, you know?
I mean, that's Hollywood for you.
You're
They
in, you're
chew you up
out.
and spit you out. You in, you out. That's Hollywood. So
I hear you on
yeah.
that.
So that was my first big professional gig that I've ever done.
Okay. So you've already said that you've bombed a show, you
Oh,
know,
several.
several.
About several
See, I've
shows.
been to several of your performances and you've never bombed once. So,
Well, I'm a
like,
professional now. It's like when you see me, it's like I'm not working out material at that point. It's like I'm using material that I already know that works.
mhm,
But you get some shows that I'm just working out new jokes, trying to, find a new joke to tell, or I thought of something funny, so I'm trying different stuff. So
right.
like shows like that, it's like you'll see it's like some jokes don't work. That's just how it is. It might work in your mind, you might think it's funny, but when it gets to the audience, it's missing something. You got to punch it up a little bit or spice it up, add some
Mhm.
ingredients to it. So
Okay. So, you're human, of course, as much as
yeah,
I love to see you
I'm
as
a monster.
Superman.
I'm a monster.
So I know you probably have moments where you don't feel like performing,
Yeah,
right? So
of
how do you
course.
get out of that? How do you hype yourself up to get out there and give out the best Jay Reid that you could possibly do?
Um, I just know that I like just through the trials and tribulations I've had through comedy, it's like I realize what I'm here to do, what job I'm here to do, and that's to make people laugh. It's like, there's gonna be times that I don't want to do my job, but someone's there to see me. Someone's there because they maybe heard about me or they saw me somewhere, and it's like, oh my God, when he comes to my town, I gotta go see him. So it's like that's what gets me up to do a show, is like knowing that someone's there watching, someone's there needs me to take them out of their element. Everybody go through trials and tribulations in life, and they looking for me for that outlet to take them away from all of that for
Mhm.
however long, for 30 minutes, an hour, however long I'm on stage. They're looking for that, for me to give them that outlet. So that's what gets me going, and knowing that, keeping that in the back of my mind, and knowing that someone needs me right now. you
Right.
know they need
Mhm.
to laugh, they need my style of comedy right now. So
How did you get
that's what
involved
do
with
it
Bill
for me.
Bellamy?
I actually won his TV show. He had a TV show called Who's Got Jokes on
Mhm.
it was a TV1 network. And on the fourth season I got on, and I won the whole thing. I went head to head with my best friend D-Lay, and
Mm.
me and him was on the show together. So we went head to head, and that was the highest rated season. So after I won, Bill was like, "Man, I got to take you on the road with me." I saw how the ratings just skyrocketed when you and Delay was on. So let's start like a tour right now. So that's what we did. We ended up starting a comedy tour, and going to different cities, and we had that tour going for like 2 years, and we did a Showtime special together, and that's how all that happened. It's like it felt like it was just meant to be, us meeting each other, us, all of our comedy styles just kind of it it enhanced each other. We were both. It was like it's a brother. It was like a brotherhood on the road being with those guys. It's
Right.
just it's like we just complement each other so well.
Mhm.
Everybody's styles, we'd all just compliment each other. So I think it was just one of those things that was supposed to happen.
Definitely. Shout out to Delay while
Yeah,
we're
that's my
at it.
boy.
It's
Yeah,
hilarious, brother. Hilarious.
yeah.
So, is there any advice, professional advice that Bill Bellamy has given you that, you think you've carried on?
Yeah, one thing about Bill, man, Bill, Bill's been in the game what 30 plus years, and he knows how to be a professional, and that's one thing he's always taught me, and tried to instill inside of me, as a veteran in this game, as a comedian that I think is going to the Hall of Fame of comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because he's done so much in the industry and just for comedy. So he's always taught me how to be a professional. So, that's what I take pride in. That's what I always love to do, is just be professional on stage and the way I carry myself. And even when people's not watching, it's like always, going and shaking hands with the people and trying to treat people the way I want to be treated, because all of that is a part of it. It's all about professionalism. And, that's one gem that he's always given me, professionalism.
Right. Who would you want to work with in the future?
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I
Yes.
want to do a show with Dave Chappelle.
Like a
He's just
skit
like
or just
anything that I can do with him. Like we can do a movie, that would be amazing. Doing a
right.
movie, but with definitely like a comedy tour or something like that. Like I would love that. Because Dave Chappelle's just the man right now.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah, I gotta get at the Richard Pryor, but Richard Pryor's a go for
Oh
me.
yeah, most
But
definitely, most definitely. But
but
I
he's
kind
on
of
the
feel like
Mount
he's on
Rushmore.
that level, at least for my
He is.
generation, because
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't grow up with Richard Pryor. I grew up with Dave Chappelle, kind of.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like I didn't grow up with Richard Pryor either, because he was in the 70s. I wasn't born to 83.
Right.
And when I was born, like when I was a young buck, Eddie Murphy was the dude. You
Exactly.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's what I was seeing, but I got a chance to do my research and my homework on Richard Pryor, and ain't nobody touching Richard. Like that's just I just think that he's mastered all aspects of comedy. Like that's one thing that Dave Chappelle can do. Dave Chappelle's a great storyteller, and he know how to write jokes, but as far as like character work and improv, it's like Richard was the goat at that, at everything.
I know that's right. So COVID has been hard for everybody,
Yeah.
especially the entertainment industry. So,
Hmm.
uh, how exactly have you been keeping your spirits up and remain sharp in the game?
Um, Honestly, I think for me, COVID was a blessing in disguise for me. It gave
Really?
me a chance to just reboot and just spend more time with my kids and my family and just really understand what's most important in life. Because I know for me, it's like I was on the road so much, and it's like I was just had my routine of just getting up, taking care of my kids, getting on the plane, and going to all these different cities and doing my routine there, getting food and talking to the people and all of that. And it's like I a lot of things I was lacking on as a father, as a human being, as a person, as a son to my mother. So I got a chance to just kind of take a step back and just reanalyze everything about life, and seeing that hey, I can't go do what I want to do right now. So it's like I got to sit down and I got to just recalibrate. I got to dig deeper into my craft. That's one thing that I did. I got a chance to learn more about the art of comedy. So it's just a lot of things I got a chance to just sit back and do that I wouldn't have gotten a chance to sit back and do if COVID didn't happen. You know,
Mhm.
so if for me it was a blessing in disguise.
Has it given you a chance to, I know you said to reboot, but has it given you a chance to like reinvent yourself in a way as far as comedy goes, or
Yeah,
maybe find other avenues of making money? Because I know money was kind of slowed down a little bit.
yeah. No, it definitely gave me that. Just to get my plan together, and sit back and think about the things that I want to accomplish for myself. And if I veered off from my goals that I've set for myself before the pandemic happened, it's like if I veered off in a way, how can I get back to that focus that I had, you know that I had when I first started comedy, and that drive that I had? How can I get back to all of that? Because all of the things of comedy, you get all these perks, and you get to go this place or that place. Sometimes you forget about the root of comedy, why you got started, and the love of it. So it gave me all of that. It gave me all of that back.
Mhm. So what advice would you give somebody else, like up and coming, somebody who's just starting out?
See, I got a couple of young guys that I mentor in comedy, like a couple 18-year-old guys, just getting started, and love the passion of comedy. And that's what I tell them most. It's like, you gotta love it, because you're gonna have a lot of up and downs when it comes to this business. A lot of doors gonna be slammed in your face, but the only the love of the craft will keep you going, keep you doing it. Because most people quit at this, and this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. This stand-up comedy thing. It's a marathon. So, you got to love the art of it. You got to take it seriously. You got to understand that people don't pay to hear you, complain about stuff or whatever. They pay to see you, and pay to get out of the element of life. Get out of the the bad things that happen. Everybody go to work, and somebody getting on their nerves, or their kids getting on their nerves, or they just lost a loved one or whatever. I'll give you a quick story. This is one of the times that I figured out what we do is very, very important. I was doing a show. I was probably 6 years into doing comedy, and I just got off stage, and this real big guy came up to me. He was like, "Jay, can I talk to you for a minute over here?" So I was just like, "Oh, do I gotta fight this dude? What's going on?" So I go to the side, the little side of the bar or whatever, and he was like, "Man, I just came here to say thank you." I was like, "Thank you for what?" He was like, "Man, I just lost my mom, I lost my auntie, and I lost one of my cousins all in the same week. So I didn't know what to do, man. My head is just all over the place, man. I thought about suicide and stuff." He was like, "Well, a friend of mine told me to come out to your show tonight because you was funny as hell." And I came out. I'm so glad I came, because it made me forget all the stuff that I just went through. And I just want to say thank you. If I could just buy you a drink or something, if I could just show my appreciation to you. And that's when I knew right there, is like, what I do is more powerful than anything. It's like, people come to comedians to get away and not deal with all of the pressures of life sometimes, and losing a loved one, how much that hurts. It's like people come for an outlet, and so if we could provide that for someone, and we could take people away from all of that trauma that they're going through, that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I tell all the young comedians, like, don't take this for granted. You got a voice. You got, people, a lot of people look up to you. A lot of people um, enjoy what you do and is passionate about what you do. They love the art of what you do. So you got to always go out there and deliver, and always go out there and be your best, because people are always watching you like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. So what does success look like to Jay Reid?
What does the success look like for me? For me, it's not like money. It's not like money and fame and all of that. It's success for me is like my ultimate goal with this is, like, I want to be considered one of the greatest that ever did it. I want my name to be mentioned with Richard Pryor and Dave Chappelle and George Carlin and Robin Williams, all of the greats. It's like, that's where I want my name to be when it's all said and done. So if I can accomplish that, I had a successful career for me. And if I, taking care of my family, being able to, give my kids a life that I never had and all of that, um, I'm able to do that with comedy right now. So I'm very, very appreciative for that. And that's a success for me, going in my career. But my ultimate success is for my name to be mentioned with those greats.
Any future projects you could talk about right now?
Well, I got a lot of future projects going on right now. I just shot my own comedy special for Dry Bar. I shot a Dry Bar comedy special that's called That Don't Go Together. That's coming out in June.
Okay.
Um, I'm working on this movie that I just wrote, and I'm directing it right now. So
Okay,
I'll
look at
be on the
you,
lookout
Mr.
for
Spike
that.
Lee.
I'm back on the road and everything now. So I got a lot of road days coming up. So I'm back on the road with that. I'm just doing a lot of stuff, man. I got a couple more TV projects that I can't really talk about right now. It's in the makings right now. They just got back to with production with a lot of projects right now with the whole COVID thing going on. Um, so I'm moving and shaking. I got a lot of projects that I'm working on.
Do you see yourself doing something like more out of the box, like a horror film or anything like that?
um, if it comes, like right now, no.
Hmm.
But my one of my goals is I want to do a movie like Beverly Hills Cop, where it's
Yeah.
like an action comedy type thing. Like, that's my ultimate goal, is to do one of those, just like Eddie Murphy or something like Bad Boys or something like that.
Right, yeah.
With me running around, a
You
cop,
just
a
want to be
detective.
shirtless.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
it. I know that's right.
Definitely want to do that.
Well, I don't have anything else for you. I really appreciate you coming on and hanging out with me today. And
no, I appreciate you for having me. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Hey, you're my first.
You.
You popped my cherry.
Well, that's what I do. Yeah.
I know that's right. All right, Jay. Well, I'm gonna catch you around the next time you're in town. And for everybody else, again, that don't go together on YouTube. You
check out the special too.
Right. Check out the special and give your handle on Instagram.
Yeah. So if you guys want to hit me up on all my social media outlets, it's the word comedian, the letter J-R-E-I-D. And if you guys want to see when I come to a city near you, go to my website and check out my tour dates. You can check my website out at www.jayreidlive.com. That's JAYREIDLIVE.com. And I'm coming to a city near you.
Yes, and Senseless Behavior Podcast, correct?
Yes, check out my Senseless Behavior Podcast. That's on all streaming platforms right now. Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts, on Spotify. You can also check it out on YouTube also. So it's up right now. We got 22 episodes. It's ready to go right now. It's up. So go check it out. Go laugh. We talk about real issues on Senseless Behavior. We talk about funny issues. So you guys are going to have a blast with it. So go check that out.
See, I'm trying to be like you. I'm only on episode 1. He over here talking about 22.
Yeah, gotta get your episodes up.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. All right, Jay. I'll catch you next time.
Hey, I appreciate you. Love you, girl.
Love you. Bye.
All right. Peace.